The distress signal. Captain Sarah Martinez stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, watching the stars drift past through the main viewport. The ship moved steadily along its patrol route at the edge of the Galactic Union's territory. Sarah had been commanding this vessel for 3 years now, and she loved every moment of it. The Defiant was humanity's contribution to the Union's peacekeeping fleet, and it showed human engineering at its finest. The bridge hummed with quiet activity. Lieutenant Commander HFY, a tall Altarian with blue-scaled skin, monitored the communication arrays with practiced efficiency. His species was known for their excellent hearing and ability to detect even the faintest signals across space. At the science station, Dr. Veltar worked with her 4 arms moving in perfect coordination. The Kitharian scientist had joined the crew 2 years ago and had become one of Sarah's most trusted officers. Chief Engineer Corvin, a stocky Borlaxian with stone-like skin, called up from the engine room through the intercom. His people were natural engineers, able to sense problems in machinery before any scanner could detect them. The weapons officer, Lieutenant Torres, was human like Sarah, but he represented the younger generation of humans who had grown up working alongside alien species. Another quiet day in paradise, Torres said, stretching in his chair. Sometimes I wonder if we'll ever see any real action out here. Sarah smiled at her young officer's eagerness. Be careful what you wish for, Lieutenant. In my experience, the universe has a way of listening when you say things like that. Dr. Veltar looked up from her console, her large compound eyes reflecting the light from her displays. Captain, I am detecting some unusual energy readings from the Helios sector. The patterns are inconsistent with normal stellar activity. Before Sarah could respond, HFY suddenly straightened at his station, pressing his headset closer to his ear slits. Captain, I'm receiving multiple distress signals. They're coming from the Helios research station. Sarah moved quickly to the communications station. The Helios research station was a massive facility that housed scientists from over 20 different species. It was considered one of the most important research centers in the galaxy, working on projects that could benefit all members of the Union. Put it through, Commander. The bridge filled with static. Then a voice broke through, speaking in the common Union language, but with the melodic tones of Illyrian. This is Director Kuvin of Helios Station. We are under attack by unknown vessels. Our defensive systems are failing. We have over 200 researchers on board, mostly from non-combat species. Please, anyone who receives this message, we need immediate assistance. The transmission cut to static again. Then another voice came through, this one belonging to a Zenthari. Multiple breaches in sections 7 through 12. Unknown hostiles are boarding the station. Our security forces are overwhelmed. This is Science Officer Draktol. If anyone is listening, please help us. Sarah felt her jaw tighten. The Lyrians and Zenthari were among the most peaceful species in the galaxy. The Lyrians were plant-like beings who could barely lift their own research equipment, while the Zenthari were crystalline entities who communicated through light patterns and had never developed weapons of any kind. The thought of them facing hostile borders made Sarah's heart race with anger. How far are we from Helios Station? She asked Torres. 2 hours at maximum warp, Captain. Torres replied, already plotting the course. What about Union backup? HFY checked his long-range communications. The nearest Union patrol is 6 hours away, Captain. Even if we call for help now, we would still arrive first. Sarah looked around at her crew. Each of them was watching her, waiting for orders. She knew what she had to do, but she also knew the risks. The Defiant was a single ship, and they had no idea what they were facing. Dr. Veltar, what can you tell me about Helios Station's current research projects? The Kitharian's arms moved across her console rapidly. According to the latest reports, they are working on several critical projects. The most important is a breakthrough in quantum communication that could revolutionize how we coordinate across the galaxy. There's also research into new medical treatments that could save millions of lives. So whatever is attacking them might be after the research, Sarah concluded. That makes this even more urgent. She activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the captain. We are responding to a distress call from Helios Research Station. The station is under attack, and over 200 scientists need our help. I won't lie to you. We don't know what we're facing, and we might be outnumbered. Sarah turned to Torres. Set course for Helios Station, maximum warp. HFY, send a message to Union Command, informing them of the situation and requesting backup. Already on it, Captain, HFY replied, his scaled fingers flying over his controls. As the Defiant changed course and accelerated to maximum warp, Sarah felt the familiar sensation of the ship's inertial dampeners working to keep them comfortable. She called down to the engine room. "Corvin, I need everything this ship has got." "You'll have it, Captain," came the reply in Corvin's rumbling voice. These engines were built by humans and maintained by Borlaxians. They won't let you down. The journey to Helios Station felt both too long and too short. During the flight, the crew prepared for whatever they might find. Dr. Veltar worked with the medical team to prepare for casualties, while Torres ran diagnostics on all weapon systems. Sarah found herself thinking about the nature of their mission. Humans had joined the Galactic Union only 15 years ago, making them one of the newest members. Most of the other species came from what they called garden worlds, planets with stable climates, gentle weather, and few natural dangers. Earth was different. Earth was what the other species had learned to call a death world. On Earth, humans had evolved alongside predators that could kill them with a single bite. They had survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and storms that could level entire cities. This harsh environment had made humans tough, adaptable, and willing to take risks that other species found terrifying. Approaching Helios Station, Torres announced, dropping out of warp in 30 seconds. "Red alert," Sarah ordered. "All hands to battle stations." The stars stopped streaking past as the Defiant dropped back into normal space. Ahead of them, Helios Station hung in space like a massive flower made of metal and crystal. The station was beautiful, designed by artists as much as engineers, with multiple research pods connected by graceful bridges. But the beauty was marred by the signs of battle. Several sections of the station showed blast damage, and Sarah could see the bright flashes of weapons fire through the viewport. Around the station, 6 ships moved in coordinated attack patterns. These vessels were unlike anything in Sarah's database. Dark, angular craft covered with what looked like weapon ports. "My God," Torres whispered. "Those ships, they're designed for one thing only." Sarah nodded grimly. The attacking vessels had no visible cargo bays, no diplomatic facilities, no research equipment. They were pure warships, built by a species that seemed to live for conflict. "HFY, try to contact the station. Dr. Veltar, scan those attack ships. I want to know everything about them." "Station responding, Captain," HFY reported. "Audio only. Their main communications array has been damaged." Director Kuvin's voice filled the bridge, strained with exhaustion and fear. "Unknown vessel, this is Helios Station. Thank the stars someone has come. We've been under attack for 3 hours. These creatures, they're not interested in negotiation. They've boarded the station and are trying to reach our main research computers. Director, this is Captain Martins of the UES Defiant. We're here to help. Can you tell me anything about the attackers?" "They call themselves the Vractul. They seem to be some kind of warrior species. Their leader demanded our research data, and when we refused, they began their attack. Captain, they're not like the species we know. They seem to enjoy the violence." Dr. Veltar looked up from her console. "Captain, I'm detecting some very disturbing readings from those ships. Their weapons are designed to cause maximum damage to living tissue. And Captain, they're scanning us very intensively." Before Sarah could respond, the main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of one of the attacking vessels. The alien that appeared was unlike anything Sarah had seen before. It was roughly humanoid but covered in what looked like natural armor plating. Its face had multiple sets of teeth, and its eyes glowed with a red light. "I am War Chief Scarvin of the Vractol Dominion," the alien said in a voice that sounded like grinding metal. "You have entered a combat zone. Leave now, or be destroyed with the others." Sarah stepped forward, meeting the alien's gaze directly. "War Chief, I am Captain Martinez, representing the Galactic Union. The station you're attacking contains civilian researchers. End your attack and withdraw, and we can discuss this diplomatically." The alien's mouth opened in what might have been laughter, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Diplomacy. Your species builds warships and calls for diplomacy. How amusing. You have 1 minute to leave before we add your ship to our collection of trophies." The transmission ended, and Sarah turned to her crew. She could see the determination in their eyes, both alien and human crew members united in their purpose. "Well, everyone," Sarah said, settling into her command chair, "it looks like we're about to show the galaxy what happens when you threaten innocent people in front of a Deathworlder crew." The 6 Vractol ships began moving toward the Defiant, their weapons charging for combat. The Deathworlders' response. Sarah watched the enemy ships approach on the main screen, her mind racing through tactical possibilities. The Defiant was outnumbered 6-1, but she had something the Vractol didn't expect: a crew trained in human military doctrine and the experience of growing up on a world that tried to kill them every day. "Taurus, what's our weapons status?" she asked calmly. "All systems online, Captain. Plasma cannons charge, torpedo bays loaded, and point defense systems active. Dr. Veltar, I need you to analyze their attack patterns. Look for weaknesses, predictable behaviors, anything we can exploit." The Catherians' 4 arms moved across multiple consoles simultaneously. "Captain, their formation is very rigid. They move like pack hunters, but they seem to expect their prey to flee or hide." "Good. Corvin, can you give me more power to engines? We're going to need to move fast." The Borlaxian's voice rumbled through the intercom. "Already working on it, Captain. I can give you 20% over normal specifications, but not for long." The first Vractol ship opened fire, sending bright red energy beams toward the Defiant. Sarah gripped her command chair as the ship shook under the impact. "Shields holding at 85%, Torres reported. "Return fire, but target their weapons systems only. I want to disable, not destroy." The Defiant's plasma cannons fired back, striking the lead Vractol ship precisely where Torres had aimed. The alien vessel's forward weapons exploded in a shower of sparks, but it continued advancing. "Interesting," Dr. Veltar observed. "They're not trying to preserve their ships. They're willing to take damage to maintain their attack formation." Sarah nodded. This was important information. The Vractol fought like Earth's army ants. Individual survival didn't matter as long as the group succeeded. But that mentality could be turned into a weakness. "Zexhai, open a channel to Helia Station." "Director Kuvin, I need you to evacuate all non-essential personnel to the station's central core. Seal all bulkheads behind you." "We're already working on it, Captain," came the reply. "But the Vractol have teams inside the station. They're fighting their way toward our main computer cores." Sarah made a decision that would have horrified most other species' military commanders. "Torres, take us directly into the middle of their formation. Maximum speed." "Captain." Torres stared at her in shock. "That will expose us to fire from all 6 ships." "Exactly. But it will also break up their coordinated attack. On Earth, when faced with a pack of predators, sometimes the best defense is to charge right through them." The Defiant accelerated directly toward the center of the Vractol formation. The alien ships were so surprised by this aggressive maneuver that their return fire was poorly coordinated. Sarah's ship shot between 2 of the attackers, firing at point-blank range into their engines. 2 enemy ships disabled, Torres reported with excitement in his voice. "Their engines are offline." But the remaining 4 ships quickly adapted, turning to pursue the Defiant. War Chief Skervin's face appeared on the screen again, and this time he looked impressed rather than amused. "Your species fights with more courage than I expected," he admitted. "But courage alone will not save you or the researchers." Sarah stood up from her chair, facing the alien leader directly. "War Chief, you said we're a species that builds warships. You're right, but do you know why we build them the way we do?" She gestured to Torres, who brought up a technical display of the Defiant on the screen. "Every system on this ship has multiple backups. Every weapon has manual overrides. Every critical function can be operated even if the main computers fail. Do you know why?" Skervin's glowing eyes narrowed with interest despite himself. "Because humans come from a world that's constantly trying to kill us," Sarah continued. "We learn to prepare for every possible disaster. We learn to keep fighting even when everything goes wrong. And most importantly, we learn to protect those who can't protect themselves." She turned to her crew. "Dr. Veltar, can you create a communications virus using our quantum transmitters? Something to disrupt their coordination?" The Cytherian's compound eyes lit up with understanding. "Yes, Captain. If I can get close enough to their lid ship, I can overload their communication systems." "Corvin, how much power can you divert from life support?" 30% for about 10 minutes, came the immediate reply. "After that, we'll start getting uncomfortable." "Perfect. Zexai, I need you to coordinate with the station's security teams. Guide them to the most critical Vractal boarding parties." Sarah settled back into her command chair as her crew worked with the smooth efficiency she had come to expect. This was why human ships carried mixed crews. Each species brought their own strengths to the team. "Torres, plot a course directly at their command ship. When we get within range, launch everything we have." The Defiant turned toward the largest Vractal vessel, its engines glowing brighter as Corvin channeled more power to them. The alien ships opened fire, but Sarah's ship was moving too fast and too unpredictably for them to get a solid lock. "Entering weapons range," Torres announced. "Fire everything," Sarah ordered. The Defiant unleashed its full arsenal, plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and particle beams all fired at once. The Vractal command ship staggered under the assault, its shields flickering and failing. At the same moment, Dr. Veltar activated her communications virus. The alien fleet suddenly broke formation as their coordination systems went offline. Ships began firing at random, some accidentally targeting their own allies. "Direct hit on the command ship," Torres reported. "Their weapons are offline, and I'm reading massive system failures throughout their hull." On the screen, War Chief Skervin appeared again, but this time his bridge was filled with smoke and flashing warning lights. "Impossible," he growled. "Your ship should have been destroyed minutes ago." Sarah smiled, but it wasn't a friendly expression. "War Chief, let me tell you something about humans. We're the species that looked at the apex predators on our world and decided to make them into pets. We're the species that saw storms that could level cities and decided to build our cities stronger. When the universe throws something dangerous at us, we don't run away. We figure out how to make it work for us." She leaned forward in her chair. "You want our research data. You want to fight the Galactic Union. Then you're going to have to go through every human ship in the fleet. And I promise you, War Chief, we're all just as stubborn as I am." The remaining Vractal ships began to retreat, their coordination still disrupted by Dr. Veltar's virus. But Skervin's ship remained, its commander apparently too proud to flee. "Captain," Zexai called out, "I'm receiving a transmission from the station. Director Quivin reports that the boarding parties have been contained. Station security, guided by our targeting data, was able to trap them in sections that can be sealed off. And the research data? Safe, Captain. The computer cores were never breached." Sarah nodded with satisfaction, but she kept her eyes on the enemy command ship. "War Chief, your attack has failed. Your boarding parties are captured. Your fleet is retreating. I'm offering you one chance to surrender and face Union justice rather than destruction." For a long moment, Skervin stared at her through the screen. Finally, he began to laugh, a sound like grinding metal mixed with genuine respect. "Captain Martinez," he said, "my species has conquered 17 different worlds. We have defeated fleets 3 times the size of yours. But never have we faced a single ship that fought like yours did today." He paused, seeming to consider his words carefully. "The Vractol respect strength above all else. Today, you have shown us that your species possesses a strength we did not expect. We will withdraw from this sector, and we will remember the name of the ship Defiant." "And the researchers?" Sarah pressed. "The station. They are safe from us. We do not prey upon those under the protection of proven warriors." The transmission ended, and moments later, the damaged Vractol command ship turned and followed the rest of its fleet away from Helia Station. Sarah slumped back in her command chair, suddenly feeling exhausted. The adrenaline that had kept her sharp during the battle was fading, leaving behind the realization of how close they had come to disaster. "Captain," Dr. Veltar said quietly, "I have been analyzing the battle data. By all conventional tactical analysis, we should have lost that fight decisively." Torres nodded, still staring at his tactical display in amazement. 6-1 odds, and we not only survived but won decisively. Sarah looked around at her crew, alien and human faces all showing the same mixture of exhaustion and pride. "We won because we did something the Vractol didn't expect. We worked together, and we refused to give up."